These are my tips for getting into the JET program the first time. Number 1 is check the deadlines. Yes, it sounds silly, but just make sure that you know when everything is due and you give yourself at least 1 or 2 months before the due date to get everything sorted. If you don't apply in time, then unfortunately, you're going to have to wait till the next year. So check the deadlines first. Number 2 is the SOP. This is the part of the application that a lot of people get nervous about. And it is the part of the application where you really get to showcase who you are and why you would be a good fit for the program. So there is a lot riding on it, and I have a lot of tips about the SOP. So I'm going to make a separate SOP video. But my high-level tip is to make sure that in addition to talking about why you want to teach English and why you would be good at working with children, you also need to mention your cultural background and how you're going to incorporate that in the classroom and how you're going to bring that to the wider Japanese community that you're going to be a part of. Because other than just being an English teaching program, it's also a cultural exchange program. So it's very important to mention those aspects. I will give you a template to work with in my SOP video, so if you're worried about the SOP, make sure to come back and watch that. Number 3, reference letters. You need to get 2 reference letters, and I would suggest getting at least one of them from someone who has worked with you really closely and can talk about your unique and good qualities and why you would be good for the program. And then if you can, it is also good to get a reference letter from someone whose role carries a bit of weight or has a bit of prestige to it, because that also helps you stand out. So for example, if you're in university, you could maybe ask the dean of the faculty if they will write you a reference letter. And if you're working, maybe a higher level manager or director of the company would also want to write you a reference letter. Strong reference letters are what you really need to get in. Moving to number 4, documents. They are going to be very specific about what documents they want from you and in what format. Make sure you double and triple check that your documents are in the correct format, and if you're submitting online, make sure you're uploading the right thing to the right place on the online form. If you're submitting in person, make sure that you follow any guidelines or stipulations that they give you. So for example, if they say, don't staple the papers together, then don't staple them. Number 5, the interview. Now, the interview could be online or in person, depends on your embassy and your location. What I will do is make a separate video again for the interview because there is a lot to say about it. Make sure you prepare what was written in your SOP. They will ask questions about it. And then also prepare some general questions. I call them HR questions because if you go to a job interview, it's the questions that HR usually asks you. So something like, tell me about yourself, or why are you a good fit for this program? Make sure you have some talking points. You don't have to rehearse, don't sound robotic, but make sure you understand or you know what you want to talk about if they ask those questions. And then brush up on your Japan general knowledge. Make sure you know what's going on in the country and make sure you know why you want to go to Japan instead of somewhere else. And one last thing I want to say about the interview before we move on is that if you feel you've failed and completely bombed the interview, that means you succeeded. So well done. Doing badly or feeling really bad about it afterwards is a good sign. And the 6th and final step, the most important one, after you're done with the interview and you've done really well because you followed my tips and you watched my interview video, then prepare to go to Japan, go there and have fun. Those are all my tips for how to get in the first time. If you have any questions, then let me know in the comments. And if you want to know more about the SOP or the interview, make sure to watch out for my videos on those. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, and good luck.